Hey everyone, it's Jordan Faith. And you can't see me yet because I don't want to spoil the surprise. Today I'm giving myself a purple money piece face framing dye job. Here on my channel, I make all sorts of different wavy and curly hair focused content. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you subscribe. And if you're excited to see my new hair, please click the like button. I'm really excited about this, and I'm gonna take you through the process. So let's get started. Hey everyone, I was going to talk to the camera as I did this because I feel like that lets me show my personality a little bit better, but my kids were being very loud with their dad, so voiceover it is. I'm getting started by just gently brushing my clean, dry hair. There's nothing in my hair right now. I just washed and conditioned and left it to air dry, and as soon as it was dry, I went ahead and got this process started. Now that my hair is detangled, I'm going to section out basically the entire face framing section of my hair. My bangs, all the way from my part down to the top of my ear. Just taking about a 1 to 1.5 inch section. If you wanted, you could put some petroleum jelly on your face and on your ears to help block the dye from getting on your skin. But I forgot, so I just made sure to wipe it off as soon as it got on my face, anytime I got it on my face, because it does stain very quickly. I'm just gonna clip back my shorter layers and put the rest of my hair in a bun just to keep it out of the way. I'll be using the Arctic Fox Purple Rain semi-permanent hair color, and I'm just using a bottle that I have left over from when I used to have colorful hair a few years ago. I squeezed some into a little dye bowl, and I'm using a hair color brush just to make it easier to apply. I'm going to take relatively small sections with my comb, but because I already sectioned out the pieces that I want and everything that is loose right now is going to be purple, I'm not being too careful about it. I'm not making super precise sections, and I'm not taking super thin sections because I'm not lightening. I'm just using a direct color. And so basically this is just going to work as a deep conditioner of sorts that just stains my hair. So I am going to make sure to apply it very liberally and make sure my hair is completely saturated with the dye. But the sectioning doesn't have to be perfect, and they don't have to be paper thin sections like you would want if you were applying bleach or lightener. And this is my makeshift way of keeping the hair out of the way and off of my face. I'm just twirling it and twisting it up and using a little clip to hold it in place. And I'm trying to get all of this as in frame as I can. And I tried to set up the camera at a good angle, but if you know who I am, you know that I wear glasses. So I had to be close enough to the bathroom mirror to actually be able to see what I'm doing. So that did pose a little bit of a challenge, but I think you'll still be able to see everything that I'm doing. Got a little dye on my face. I'm pretty good about not dripping the dye onto my face, but once you get it on your glove, it's a little trickier to avoid these little mishaps. Since I don't have anything on my face to protect it, I'm just going to wipe that off right away and keep moving on. And I did get dye on my face a few times, and every time I just stopped what I was doing and quickly wiped it all off. I'm rocking the beautiful comb over right here. This is actually my very first time ever dyeing my own hair. I've had fun colored hair several times throughout my life, but my mom would always do it for me. I will say it's nicer when someone else can do it for you, but this was relatively easy, and it was pretty fun. I'm just adding that new section that I dyed to the existing section and clipping it out of the way and moving on to the next section. And I'm also combing through each section to ensure that it stays detangled because you don't want to put dye on to tangled hair. And this application brush that I'm using is probably at least a decade old, So don't mind some of the little scraggly bristles. As you can see, I'm making sure to get some dye onto my little baby hairs as well, because it is going to rub off my skin. I'm not just directly getting dye on my scalp or on my face here. You can sort of tell that I'm just brushing it over those baby hairs because I don't want to have brown baby hairs, purple money piece highlights, and then brown hair. I wanted everything around my face to get a good coating of that purple dye. Now that I've done this half of my hair, I'm just going to twist all those sections together and pin them up again. And I just did this so the sections could all stay moist and they would be a little bit more secure, all pinned up in one twist. And then I'm just going to do the exact same thing on the other side, but I'm starting from the top middle instead of down by my ear, because as I finish each section, I'm just going to lay it over the other side of my head where the other dyed hair is. You'll see what I mean. I just wanted to do whatever was going to be easiest and quickest. Like I said, this doesn't have to be super precise. It's all going to blend pretty well together in naturally wavy or curly hair. And as long as you're working that color all the way through your sections and taking relatively small sections, you should get a pretty even dye job. I've been seeing this trend with the colored pieces of hair framing the face for a while, and I think it's just really pretty. And I had kind of been getting the urge to add some color to my hair, but I didn't want to do my entire head of hair. So I thought this was the perfect opportunity to try out just doing my face framing sections. And I actually haven't seen this on naturally wavy hair. So I wanted to provide you all with a visual in case you were in the same situation as me. All in all, this process only took me about 20 minutes. And that is with me trying to make sure everything is on camera and also not quite being able to clearly see what I was doing. So it really didn't take long at all, and it wasn't very messy. Just remember to wear gloves and wipe it off of your skin right away. And also wipe it off of any surfaces that it might get on right away because, like I said, it does stain pretty quickly. So you just want to make sure that you're cleaning up any important areas as you go. Now that this side is finished, I'm just going to work all those sections together, and I'm going to add just a little more dye to make sure it's fully saturated. That was the last little bit of dye I had in the bowl, and I didn't want to waste it, so I just spread it right on, and I twisted that clump up like I did the other side so I could pin it up and out of the way while I let it sit. And I did end up putting a shower cap on top of this so that everything would stay wet. I didn't want the dye to dry out, and it helps trap in a little bit of heat, which can help the hair cuticle accept the color a little bit more easily. And I let this sit on for 2 hours. This is a non-damaging dye. It's not lightening my hair at all. It's essentially a colored deep conditioner, so you can leave it on for quite a while, but I wouldn't go too much longer than that just because you don't really want to keep your hair wet for an extended period of time. After about 2 hours, I rinsed it out with cool water and made sure to scrub my scalp, especially along that hairline in the front, to get all the dye completely washed away, and I didn't wash and style it to film until a few days later. And these are the results. I'm so happy. I can't stop smiling. It's been 3 days since I dyed it, and I love it more every day. I knew that it would be dark, but I'm really happy with how well it shows up. I really didn't want to have to go through bleaching it first, partially because that's a lot of work, partially because of the damage, and partially because I really wanted to see how this dye would look on my natural color, just straight dye. And I'm in love with it, I really am. It showed up amazingly well. I think it's just the right amount of a little pop of color, and it just makes me feel so fun and cute and trendy. If you've been looking for this trend on naturally wavy hair, look no further. I definitely wouldn't mind having more color. I love color, I love colored hair and I always have, but I think the sections that I took were a really good size, and I love how it just frames my face and gives that little pop, that little bit of interest. And I just can't say enough to express how happy I am about it. Fair warning, make sure you wear gloves, and I would suggest using gloves when you wash it out as well, especially if you're going to do more than I did. My nails have the tiniest tint of purple to them still, but I don't mind. I wore gloves while I applied it, and that was good enough for me. I didn't want to have to wear gloves while I washed it out. While this is wet, it does drip and bleed color. So you do want to make sure to clean off anything it gets on in your bathroom so you don't experience any staining. And you want to make sure to use a towel that you don't care about or that the color you're using won't ruin, because it is likely to transfer to whatever it touches while it's wet. When it's dry, it's totally fine, totally solid. Today I washed and styled with these products right back here. I've really been loving the Curl Jelly line from Umberto Giannini. All of the products work really well. They have a nice light floral perfumey scent. I typically prefer sweeter scents, but this is a perfumey florally scent that I enjoy. And I styled with the Cake Mousse, which you probably already know is one of my favorites. And it has a sweet smell, so that's extra points in my book. I love the way my style turned out today. I already said I'm completely in love with these little highlights, lowlights, colored pieces, whatever you want to call them. I adore them. I'm so glad that I decided to do them. I hope they don't fade too fast, but I'll have to keep you updated throughout my new videos on how quickly it fades, what shades it might turn to, and so on. I've used Arctic Fox in the past on my bleached hair, which is why I had leftover dye, but I've never put it on virgin hair, and I love, 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 love the color. I know I've said I love it like probably 20 times already in this video, but that's just the best thing I can say about it. I love it. I think it's just the perfect shade. I think it looks really pretty with my brown hair and with my face, with my eyes. I'm really happy. I'm sure you can tell I'm having a lot of breakouts on my skin. I've really been struggling with that lately. I think it might be hormone related, but I'm still figuring it out. But at least I'm starting the new year with hair that I'm really, really, really excited about and happy with. Please comment below and tell me what you think. I really hope you like it as much as I do. As always, there are links in the description to the products that I used and a link to my Amazon store, which has a lot of my favorite products and tools listed. So make sure to check that out if you're curious about anything or you're looking to purchase any of these items. It doesn't cost you any extra. The price is the same as if you just went through your own browser and found it yourself. But it gives me a really, really tiny percentage of commission if you order through my link. So obviously don't go and order it if you weren't gonna order it already. But if you're already looking to buy one of these products that's listed, I'd appreciate it if you'd use my link. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already so you don't miss the updates about how this wears, and so you can be here for any other content I put out and to be part of my community. I'm really excited to grow this community throughout the new year and get to know all of you better and provide you with more entertaining, more fun, and more helpful content. Remember to love yourself fully and faithfully, and I'll see you next time.